Hello, I'm the Dark Master, and welcome back to my LEGO reviews. In today's video, we shall be covering set number 71738, Zane's Titan Mech Battle, from the LEGO Ninjago Legacy line. It comes with 840 pieces in 6 bags, a sticker sheet, and 4 minifigures. Also, the reason I'm not showing the physical box is because the shipping company absolutely ripped it apart, like, just disgustingly. Anyway, starting as always with the figures. From left to right, we have Golden Legacy J, Legacy Deepstone Zane, Legacy Ghoultar, and Legacy Soul Archer. Let us start with the good guys. Starting with the Golden Legacies J, we see he uses the Prime Empire headpiece, that interesting combination of a game visor and a ninja hood wrap, now molded in gold and blue. It is a nice recolor with great molding that will be very useful in mocking. Removing it, we see J has a two-sided face that has been used since the Sons of Garmadon. On one side, there is an annoyed scowl, while on the other is a nervous smile. Going down from there, we see he has the Prime Empire armor, and for whatever reason, though it's still bulky, it does seem to look a lot better in gold. It also lacks the game sort of garish styled health bar piece on top, which makes it look a lot more grounded. There's just something about the off-white version that seemed very artificial, like it was just made out of plastic. This actually seems a lot more substantive. It can hold a pair of katanas. Going down from the armor, we see he has some excellent torso printing with a golden outer coat that possesses lightning patterns on it. The underclothes are blue with numerous little belts, plus a big one with another lightning related emblem. Removing the armor, we can see the back print. It is far more simple, though it does have a larger blue lightning symbol, with more of the belt seen. Overall, it's a kind of a shame that we never really see this printing unless you remove the armor. He has golden arms and hands that are shiny but nothing special. Going down to his legs, he has a copper belt and some other nice little details. It's similar to, if not nearly identical, to the other golden ninja legs, and is overall fine but nothing special. For weaponry, he wields a pair of golden katanas. They're pretty cool looking, but it's nothing new, and it's perfectly utilitarian. Now, let us go to Zane. Starting with the head, Zane wears the Ninjago Legacy hood wrap, now molded in a new color of white with a black headband. It is a nice new color variant to get, as it's always good to see more color variations of pieces, and it will be very useful in mocking. Removing it, we can see he has the standard robotic Zane face, seen since the Sons of Garmadon. It only has one face, which is a greatly angered scowl with only one side, as the other is just an emotionless plug-in. Going down, we see he has the very common half-shoulder armor emblemed with a shuriken shape. It can hold a singular katana. While it has some good molding, it's nothing special, plus it's molded in the generic gunmetal gray. Going down, we see his torso is extremely black, with exposed silver pecs and a core with some nice white belts. Despite not really being a typical ice color, it's still excellent, and I can respect it even if it's not really, you know, cool. Removing the armor, we see his back print is quite interesting, with a saber-toothed tiger emblem that I cannot help but think is a reference to the Lego theme Legends of Chima, with how the final bad guys were a bunch of Ice Age animal zombies led by an evil saber-tooth. Zane has white arms with black hands, which is perfectly fine. His leg printing is pretty good, with white belts and stripes, and is overall very well done. For weaponry, Zane wields a single utilitarian silver katana. Nothing special, but it's fine. Overall, a great figure that excellently captures the deep stone aesthetic of the possession wave, while also modernizing it and slimming it down a bit. Now, let's go to the two villains of the set. Starting with Soul Archer, he has the Legacy Ninja hood wrap in another new recolor. This time it's dark navy blue with a purple headband. It's quite distinctive, and as I've stated before, it's always nice to see recolors of pieces, as it just increases diversity of usage. It also does fit the Ghost Army's aesthetic well, despite being not from the original wave. Removing the hood, we see he has a ghostly, transparent, neon green head with a sinister skull face bearing an ill intentioned grimace. It does justice to the ghostly air, though it is odd since originally only Gultar had a skull and the others were just regular faces. Going down to his torso, we see he has extremely tattered purple and navy blue robes that look greatly weathered and do give this ethereal look. Going to his back, we see he has a perverted yin yang symbol involving a pair of ghostly dragons. For his legs, he uses the ghost tailpiece that has been seen so many times in so many recolors that I've lost count. But it originated with the Ninjago ghosts, so that is nice to see it returned. Unfortunately, this has to be one of the weakest recolors I've seen, as it combines purple with transparent neon green, and it just looks ugly at places, especially when you combine the two. It looks kind of brownish. I mean, compare it to the original OG Ghost Tail, which used navy blue instead of purple, and it just complemented the neon green far better. But what are your thoughts? Leave them down in the description below. Do you think he looks better or worse? True to his name, Soul Archer wields a black bow for weaponry. Overall, a good figure, except for the legs, and is an excellent reimagining of the ghostly antagonist, which you can see here. Now let's go to the second fiend, Gultar, the Scythemaster. Gultar wields a purple bamboo hat that is a pretty fine recolor but is not new. Going down from there, he has the same head print as Soul Archer, only this time partially obscured by a black bandana, giving it a slightly distinctive look. Going down from there, we see he has some nice shoulder armor seen in some other sets. It's relatively small, but it's not bad. Going further down, we see he has the same torso, arms, hands, and legs as Soul Archer, so I won't repeat myself talking about them, aside to say that they're pretty good, except for the legs. For weaponry, Gultar wields a mighty two-bladed scythe. The blades are a really nice mold, with the ragged edges giving a ghostly, ethereal vibe. Sadly, much like the legs, they suffer from the choice of colors. I mean, just look at it compared to the original. It looks like a little neutered. Overall, Gultar is another excellent reimagining of the classic Ninjago foe, though the lack of unique pieces is a slight disappointment. Now let us talk about the pieces and the sticker sheet. Starting with the sticker sheet, there are a total of 7 stickers, and while some, such as those near the feet, are superfluous, the larger ones on the thighs and heads are absolutely needed for this set to reach its true potential. Leave them off only if you really despise stickers, but overall, they're pretty good. There are a lot of pieces in this set, so many in fact that I had to use 3 pieces of paper to show them off, many of which are really neat, such as the singular silver giant shuriken piece, or these giant slow pieces. The set has so many joints, slopes, and exonite shields. Oof! It is just an excellent parts pack if you don't like the build. Not to mention blades. The selection is just jaw dropping. But what about what these pieces build? Is that having any value? First, Golden Jay has this little cute stand. It's black and perfectly utilitarian. It has 2 blue studs that are meant to represent Jay's lightning, and a flat plate with a nice print celebrating the 10th anniversary of Ninjago. It's nothing we haven't seen in other Legacy sets, but it's perfectly fine for what it's meant to be. But enough about this. Let us go to the main attraction of the set, Zane's Titan Mech. Starting with the feet, they are beefy, wide boots that provide good enough base for the mech. They have some nice shaping, especially on the sides, though the back looks pretty bare. At the ankle, there's a ball joint that gives some decent articulation. Going up to the lower leg, we see a pair of stickers that are slightly superfluous. Some nice slope pieces and an articulatable wing piece that's used as knee armor. We also see some of these droid pieces used on the knee. Going to the back, we once again see that it's a great deal weaker than the front, and it also allows us a better view of the utilization of a pair of smaller ball joints. On one hand, this greatly increases the stability of the mech, but on the other hand, it pretty much eliminates side to side flexibility, though that is an understandable sacrifice when it comes to large mechs such as this. The exposed ball joint is not excusable, though it does have these gold bars that look a little neat. Going to the upper legs, they are mostly this nice bluish gray that really stands out and is only highlighted by the outlines in white on the top and bottom. The large stickers on either side are very good. Sadly, on the same level as the previous 2 parts, the back is much more bland and not really worth talking about for an extended period of time. The articulation at the thigh is pretty good, though understandably limited due to its importance in bearing the mech's weight. It does have good shaping though. Now let's go to the mech's waist. At the front, we see some good shaping thanks to a slope piece in white. He also has a pair of these large plates that can be articulated and are reminiscent of samurai armor. Going to the side, we see some of the mech's internal construction, which is unfortunate considering how great the overall coverage is for the most part otherwise. It has a pair of white shield pieces that can be articulated up and down, though not as much as the ones at the front because it's not a ball joint, it's a clip piece. Going to the back, we see 2 more of these armor skirts that are smaller and have some decent articulation. Otherwise, the back is similar to the front waist. Going up to the torso, we see this mech has gold bars for pecs. His chest looks oddly like a giant skull, which I can't really unsee ever since it's been pointed out. And it's kind of an odd choice, really. But it does have some slight articulation, and overall it looks pretty good, even if the choice is a bit bizarre. His shoulders are pretty tall, thanks to these large slow pieces, and has this odd sort of barrel attached to them, but otherwise are great with the same minor details thanks to these little stickers. Both are identical, however, the hands are not so much. The hands are pretty decent. They have three fingers that can provide at least a little bit of articulation, and it can be swerved at the wrist, in addition to at the elbow. Each of them, however, has a different accessory. The left one has a large golden blade that can be motioned back and forth and used as a sort of, well, blade, though it's more reminiscent of Wolverine's claws than anything. While the right hand utilizes the giant silver shuriken piece as either a shield or a buzzsaw. Going to the cockpit, we see the mech has a tan upholstery with two golden pistols that are used as controls for the pilot. It can only fit a single minifigure, but has a fine build that looks really comfortable. Going upwards, we see that the mech has a pair of spring-loaded missiles molded in translucent blue. They're good and have 2 points of use for articulation that can be sent back and forth. Going up, we see as a sort of neck that serves as a windshield for the driver and can be articulated or open quite a bit. On top, we see a robot head that is clearly meant to be samurai-esque. It has some really nice parts usage, and while the three stickers might seem a bit excessive, they do not detract from its nice visage and if anything only add to it. The bucket handle used for horns and the harpoon gun used for antenna are just really good, and this is a peak example of parts usage in ways that are not typical. Overall, this was a pretty nice build, though there are a few problems that I want to discuss. Firstly, maybe it's just me, but this mech fell down quite a bit. The feet with their hidden jet engines, while perfectly fine on the offset, just dropped the ball in certain poses. Despite that, you can get the mech in some decent poses. Also, I noticed that the spring-loaded missiles can sometimes just fire even if you don't touch the tail. But I think that's more of an issue intrinsic to that design of launchers as opposed to anything wrong with the mech itself. So, yeah. Overall, though, how was this set? Well, all the figures are amazing to get, the ghosts especially. The builds are pretty amazing, in all honesty, despite the flaws I pointed out. And for the price, it seems pretty decently sized. I mean, this isn't as big as Lloyd's Titan mech, but this is genuinely an excellent reimagining of the original set, which I never had. But just comparing it to the images available, this definitely seems like a massive upgrade. I guess it helps the fact that this was just a single Euler mech, whereas the original set had two mechs that were proportionally smaller. Overall, this is definitely worth a buy if you can find it. I'm the Dark Master, and join me next time on my LEGO reviews. Have a wonderful day.